everyone. So it's been a little while since I've done any little videos and things, but I wanted to do today's just in light of World Mental Health Day. It's not an easy subject for many people to try and talk about, and that's probably the whole purpose of why I want to try and do this, because we want to break this stigma. We want it to be a normal conversation, that it's okay to not be okay. Basically, I'll just a little background of myself. So I have always normally been quite a very strong person, and being able to focus and know when it comes to problems and dealing with things, kind of get myself in a frame of mind of, right, that's fine, we're going to deal with this, well, that'll be fine, we'll move on to the next thing. A couple of years ago, we hit a little bit of a rough patch at home. Things weren't going quite so well, and I just kind of cracked a little bit. Completely new feelings to me, but it was overwhelming. Didn't really know who to speak to without feeling like I was going to burden anybody or anything. But one of my major parts was I was too busy with looking after everybody else and not looking after myself, basically. So I knew I needed to do something, but wasn't quite sure what it was going to be. And then I kind of just accidentally fell into the whole gardening thing. I can't really remember how I got into it completely. It was just, I bought a magazine, and there was a free packet of seeds that came with it, which were the Cosmos, and I thought I'll have a little go trying that, and planted the seed. It started to grow. I was reading up on how to bring it on, and I kind of almost made that connection of, I guess it was nurturing something, because that's just my nature. Is I like to care for people and to look after people, and see them well. So to see something doing well with my own fair hands was kind of like a bit of a booster, really. And then that was it. I was hooked. It was kind of like, oh, what can I do now? Gardening for me has given me some focus on learning things again, and nurturing, but in a different kind of way that doesn't necessarily take too much energy away from me. You know, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't always work. Things don't go to plan. I have my days when I can't be bothered. You know, now I've kind of sort of hit another little brick wall. I'm not ashamed to say it now. Seeking help for it, because sometimes you can't always do things on your own, and you know, you've got the family support there, or you've got friends support from colleagues at work and things, but sometimes you just might need that little bit extra help that they can't necessarily give. It's just like learning new coping mechanisms and things. But really, yeah, I want people to know that you can talk about it. Don't feel afraid. But you can. There is things out there that you can do. And even just stepping outside from your four walls, you know, whether you've got a little bit of a garden or it's a backyard or something, it's something that takes you outside of them four walls and can, you know, boost the fresh air. And just trying to take your inner surroundings. It's trying to place yourself in the moment. And this is what I like about gardening, is gardening very puts you much in that moment, and it can just, I suppose, block out in a way, but not in a bad way. It just refocuses your attention on something good, which can give you that boost to say, like, you know, it doesn't always work, but with gardening, there's always something to learn, and it's good because it does keep you on your toes. Because one thing will work one year and it's amazing, and then you'll do exactly the same the next year, and then it doesn't work, and there's no logical explanation for it. And I think that's why I like it so much, is it does keep me on my toes, it keeps me learning, but it brings so many nice things. I mean, you can see my little tomatoes are amazing, and they're still fruiting, they're still trying to ripen off. This lovely autumn warmth we're getting spoilt to is is an absolute treat. So I'm making the most of it. But you know, 2-3 years ago, I would never have attempted to grow anything like this. And it's a real sense of achievement, you know. I mean, you can't buy that in a supermarket. You can't buy pride and an achievement in a package. It's what you feel in here, you know. It's hard work that you put in. You know, you get out of it as much as you put in. I'm no expert. I don't always know what I'm talking about. I don't always know what I'm doing, but you know, there's a whole support out there of lovely folks on Twitter and Instagram, and you know, they're such a supportive community. So you know, they all help, and there's very much a lot of us who are all very similar personalities or have gone through things similar in life, and it's just about being open and talking is your main thing. Just don't be afraid. So I just wanted to really sort of put out there a little bit of me, just so that people can see, you know, it happens to all of us, and you know, there's no shame in it. My husband always says to me, you've got to stop trying to be a superhuman and trying to do everything, and he's right, and it's not always easy to not to, but you do have to take a step back now and again, and you do have to hold your hands up and just say, do you know what, yeah, I might need to stop just a little bit, but do it. Put everything down and try and focus where you are, or if you can't, get someone to help you with it, go and speak to someone about it. But we do need to break the stigma. You know, it's more common these days that life at the minute is like 100 miles an hour. There's so much going on in the world and your everyday lives, and it's hard to keep up, and you're not sure whether you're doing things right or wrong. And to be fair, there's no right or wrong way of life, is it? You only get one chance at it. You just got to do what you think's best at the end of the day. You've just got to go with it. So yeah, so there you go. That is just my little bit on World Mental Health Day today. And just remember that you're not the only one. You're not the only one, and there's something out there for everybody. Say for me, it's my gardening. I absolutely do love it. I'm saying I struggle to October and November, probably December, because it's them months where it's dark and it's a bit dingy and it's not always great weather, and it's like, you know what, sometimes you've just got to try and shake it off, which is easier said than done sometimes. So but there you go. So that's me, and it's okay to not be okay.